Make your mind a sponge for the right thoughts. There's a reason only a few people rise to the top. And it's not luck, it's not money, it's not connections, it's thought. The richest secret in the world is this: thoughts are things, and the thoughts you hold with emotion, repetition, and belief shape your reality. This isn't fantasy, it's the foundation of Think and Grow Rich, one of the most powerful books ever written, and not because it teaches you to dream, but because it teaches you to decide. Every empire, every fortune, every breakthrough starts with an idea held so tightly it refuses to die. Napoleon Hill interviewed of the most successful people alive, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford to Thomas Edison. They all said the same thing in different words. Success begins in the mind. But here's the part most people ignore. They think success is about knowing more. It's not. It's about wanting more, so deeply, so clearly that your thoughts start pulling you in a direction you can't ignore. Hill calls it a burning desire, not a wish, not a vague goal, but a definite purpose. A reason so big you feel it when you wake up. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Have you written it down? Do you read it every morning? Do you feel it when you say it? Because if not, it's just a hope, and hope isn't a strategy. Now, here's where the mind comes in. Your subconscious doesn't respond to what you say casually. It responds to emotion, repetition, conviction. You must see your goal, feel it, live it in your mind until it becomes real enough that the world starts to catch up. This is what Hill meant by autosuggestion. It's not magic, it's mental training. You're rewiring your mind to expect what you want, not just want it. Because when your mind believes something is yours, it starts bending your habits, your actions, your energy to bring it closer. Now, if you're still watching, here's the part most people never hear. Success doesn't come to the smartest. It comes to the most determined. It rewards those who stay clear, consistent, and absolutely relentless. Hill said that every person who made a fortune did it after they made a decision. A real one. No more, maybe no more. If it works, just I will, I must, I am, and here's what's wild. Your mind will fight this. At first, it will give you doubt, delay, distraction. Why? Because it's easier to stay the same, but the moment you decide, really decide, you set something in motion. It's like the world shifts to test you. Do you really want this? Will you fight for it? Will you keep going? When it's boring, quiet, invisible, most people stop. But the ones who don't, they cross a line. And on the other side of that line is a different world. A world where they no longer chase success because success begins chasing them. So here's your task. Pick one desire, one purpose. Write it down in present tense. I am earning, I am changing lives with my business. I am free, focused, and unstoppable. Say it every day. Feel it like it's already yours. Take action every day, no matter how small. And when doubt creeps in, remember, doubt dies in the presence of decision. You don't need 10 years. You need a clear mind, a definite purpose, and the courage to believe before you see. This is the true meaning of Think and Grow Rich. It starts with your thoughts, but it ends in your bank account, your health, your legacy. And if you're still here, it means something inside you is ready not just to dream, but to decide. Because the life you want isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you. There is a secret, my friends, a secret so simple that most people overlook it. And yet it separates the few who rise to greatness from the many who drift through life. The secret is this: thoughts are things, not vague, misty wishes. Not idle dreams, but real, living forces that shape your destiny the moment you claim them with faith and persistence. The difference between the person who struggles all their life and the person who builds an empire is not luck, not money, not family connections. It is thought. The greatest fortunes the world has ever known began with nothing more than an idea, planted in a determined mind and watered with emotion until it grew into reality. Now listen carefully. Success does not come to the person who merely knows more. It comes to the person who wants more, so deeply, so intensely, that their very thoughts begin pulling them toward the object of their desire. That is what I have called a burning desire. A burning desire is not a hope. It is not a wish. It is a decision so definite, so alive in your heart, that you can feel it in your chest when you wake up in the morning. And until you have that, you will always be at the mercy of doubt, hesitation, and fear. But once you have it, once you have chosen a definite purpose, the entire machinery of your mind and the forces of life itself begin to work with you instead of against you. Your subconscious mind does not respond to weak words or casual wishes. It responds to conviction. It responds to the pictures you hold in your imagination day after day, with feeling, with certainty, until they become so real that the world begins to bend around them. This is not fantasy. It is mental training. It is the law by which every man or woman has ever risen from nothing to greatness. But mark this well, the path will test you. The moment you decide, life itself will whisper, "Do you really want this?" And it will test you with delay, with obstacles, with discouragement. Most will quit. Most will go back to the familiar, but those who persist, those who keep their minds fixed on the goal with unwavering faith, those are the ones who cross the line. And on the other side of that line, success no longer runs from them, it begins to chase them. So I leave you with this challenge. Choose one burning desire, write it down, state it in the present tense. I am free, I am prosperous, I am creating something that changes lives. Repeat it until your heart believes it. Act on it daily, even if only in small steps. And when doubt appears, remind yourself, doubt dies when decision lives. You do not need to wait 10 years. You do not need permission. What you need is a clear mind, a definite purpose, and the courage to believe before you see. That, my friends, is the true meaning of thinking and growing rich. It begins with your thoughts, but it ends in your future, your freedom, and your legacy. Every single achievement you can see around you, every building, every invention, every company, every fortune, and every revolution in human progress began in the invisible realm of thought. Before steel was shaped into railroads, before electricity lit the streets of cities, before airplanes filled the skies, these realities existed only as fragile ideas in the mind of a man or woman who refused to let them die. The origin of success is not money, not opportunity, not the favor of circumstances. It is thought, but not just any thought. Our minds are flooded daily with thousands of impressions, images, fears, and desires. Most people allow these to pass through them like water through a sieve. They never stop to examine them, never discipline them, never harness them, and so their lives become reflections of scattered, unfocused thinking. They drift because their minds drift. But those who rise above mediocrity, those who stand at the top of their fields, have one thing in common. They learn to control, to focus, and to direct their thoughts toward a definite end. You see, thoughts are not wisps of nothingness. They are energy, they are power. When mixed with emotion, repetition, and faith, they become the blueprints of reality. A mind that allows itself to dwell constantly on failure, on fear, on limitation, will inevitably create conditions that reflect those very thoughts. But a mind that dares to dwell on success, on growth, on achievement, will bend every faculty of the body, every habit of daily living, and eventually the cooperation of others, to bring that vision into form. Consider this. Andrew Carnegie did not begin with wealth. He began with the idea that steel could build the backbone of an empire. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, but what drove him was not money. It was the picture of a world lit by a filament that he could see in his imagination long before the world could. Henry Ford was ridiculed for the idea of a motor car that every man could afford, but he held that idea with such conviction that eventually the ridicule gave way to reality. What united these men was not luck, not resources, but the recognition that their greatest capital was the power of thought. Your mind, too, has this same power. What you hold in it consistently will, in time, shape your circumstances. If you continually see yourself as defeated, life will prove you right. If you continually hold the picture of success, nurture it with belief, and act in harmony with it, life will also prove you right. The greatest tragedy of mankind is not the absence of opportunity, but the failure to recognize the wealth of thought each person already possesses. The seed of every fortune is an idea, and the richest soil in which to plant that seed is your own mind. Guard it, direct it, make it a sponge for the right thoughts, because those thoughts will one day become your reality. There is one quality that separates those who merely wish for success from those who secure it. That quality is desire-burning, unquenchable desire. Without it, knowledge is powerless, talent is wasted, and opportunity passes unnoticed. But with it, a man Or woman can begin from nothing, overcome obstacles, and carve out a destiny that seems impossible to the ordinary mind. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, the foundation upon which every fortune is built. A weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire produces little heat. Most people drift through life wishing vaguely for better things, a little more money, a little more recognition, a little more comfort, but wishes are smoke. They have no force, no persistence, no fire. A burning desire, on the other hand, is a flame that consumes doubt and ignites action. It is definite, specific, and alive. It is not "I would like to succeed, but I must succeed." It is not "I hope to be free, but I will be free." Look back at the giants of history, and you will find this fire burning in every one of them. Henry Ford did not simply hope to create a car. He was obsessed with the vision of making it affordable for every household. Edison did not wish casually for the light bulb. He carried the unshakable determination that he would uncover the secret, no matter how many failures stood in the way. Even Carnegie, who began in poverty, was so consumed by the idea of building great industry that he labored tirelessly until his desire became steel and fortune. These men were not lucky. They were relentless. Desire has a way of reshaping the entire human personality. When a person is possessed by a definite purpose, their habits change, their energy multiplies, and their mind becomes a magnet for ideas and opportunities that align with that goal. Desire sharpens focus. It eliminates distractions. It gives courage in the face of ridicule, persistence in the face of defeat, and hope in the face of delay. Without it, the smallest obstacle will cause you to quit. With it, no obstacle is large enough to stop you. But understand this clearly. Desire must be definite. It must be translated into a clear purpose. To say "I want more money" is a weak wish. To say "I will earn $100,000 within 2 years by offering a service that improved lives" is a burning desire shaped into a definite plan. Vague desires evaporate. Definite desires endure. So I ask you, what do you truly want? Not what you wish for idly, but what you cannot live without. Until you answer this with honesty and conviction, your efforts will remain scattered. The moment you do, and the moment you breathe life into it every morning and every night with emotion and faith, you will feel a shift. Life begins to bend around that purpose. People, circumstances, and ideas begin to align, and what once looked impossible becomes inevitable. Burning desire is the beginning of greatness. Without it, nothing moves. With it, everything is possible. The human mind is divided into two great parts, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind thinks, reasons, and makes daily choices, but it is the subconscious that holds the power to shape destiny. Because it is the storehouse of belief, habit, and emotion, whatever is impressed upon the subconscious with feeling and repetition begins to take root and eventually shows itself in reality. Most people never take the time to understand this truth. They speak casually, they dream vaguely, they allow their minds to wander in fear and doubt, never realizing that their subconscious is recording every word, every emotion, every repeated thought, and translating it into their actions, their results, and their life. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts what it is fed, and because of that, it is both a servant and a master. Feed it failure, and it will produce failure. Feed it faith, determination, and a clear vision, and it will produce success. This is why it is not enough to say, "I want to be wealthy," or "I hope to succeed." The subconscious is not moved by idle words, it is moved by conviction. When you say to yourself, "I will achieve this," and you repeat it daily with deep emotion, with belief, and with vivid imagination, your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. And once it accepts, it sets to work silently and persistently, guiding your thoughts, reshaping your habits, opening your eyes to opportunities, and driving you toward the very thing you have declared. Napoleon Hill called this process autosuggestion, but understand, it is not magic. It is training. Just as you can train your body through repeated exercise, you can train your subconscious through repeated thought. Think often enough of failure, and you will notice yourself sabotaging your own efforts without even knowing why. But think often enough of achievement, and soon your decisions, your energy, and even the people you attract will align with that belief. You are, in the truest sense, programming your future through your present thoughts. Every great achievement in history has relied on this principle. Edison did not see darkness. He continually impressed upon his subconscious the image of light, until his entire being was bent toward that solution. Ford did not see ridicule. He impressed upon his subconscious the certainty of an automobile for the common man, and so his energy and persistence never wavered. Their success was not luck. It was the fruit of a mind disciplined to see only the outcome they desired. You must do the same. If you wish to transform your life, you must transform the stream of thoughts that flow into your subconscious. Write your goal, speak it daily, feel it as though it were already yours. Live with it in your imagination until the subconscious accepts it. Then watch as your actions, your choices, and your circumstances begin to rearrange themselves in harmony with that vision. The subconscious mind shapes reality. Guard what you allow into it, for it is the soil in which every dream is planted, and the world you see tomorrow is born from the thoughts you plant in it today. There comes a point in every life where wishing, hoping, and even planning must give way to something stronger, decision. Until that moment, you are like a ship without a rudder, drifting at the mercy of winds and waves, uncertain of your course. The instant you decide, truly decide, you seize the wheel of your life and set it firmly in a chosen direction. Decision is the turning point. It is the line that separates the dreamer from the doer, the wanderer from the achiever, the wish from the will. Most people never make a real decision. They say, "I'll try," or "if it works out, then I'll continue." These are not decisions, they are half-hearted hopes. A decision is not a maybe, it is final. It closes off retreat. It eliminates the back door. It says, "This is mine and nothing will stop me." When you decide, you cut away all other possibilities and pour all of your energy into a single purpose. That act alone releases power you never knew you had. Consider the great builders of industry and invention. They did not succeed because they were the most intelligent or the most fortunate. They succeeded because they decided. Henry Ford decided that the world would drive affordable automobiles, and even when experts laughed at him, even when investors doubted him, he pressed on because his decision had already been made. Thomas Edison decided that he would produce electric light, and though he failed thousands of times, his decision held firm until the world itself had to bow to it. Andrew Carnegie decided that he would rise from poverty and build an empire of steel. These men did not say, "I hope," or "I'll try." They said, "I will," and then lived as if nothing else were possible. The reason decision is so powerful is that it silences doubt. As long as you remain undecided, your mind is divided. One day you lean toward faith, the next toward fear. One moment you act, the next you hesitate. But once the decision is made, doubt begins to die. The subconscious mind accepts your command, and all of your thoughts, actions, and habits begin to align with it. You will find yourself attracting opportunities, seeing possibilities, and drawing strength from sources you never noticed before. Decision calls forth resources that hesitation can never touch. Life will test your decision. The moment you declare it, obstacles will rise to challenge you. This is not to destroy you, but to prove the seriousness of your commitment. The universe asks, do you mean it? Are you willing to endure, to adapt, to persist? Most abandon their dream at the first sign of resistance, showing they were never truly decided. But those who hold firm, who say, "I have chosen and I will not turn back," find that even the heaviest barriers eventually yield. If you desire success, you must learn the art of decision. Stop lingering in maybe. Stop bargaining with your fears. Choose what you want with clarity. Declare it with conviction and act on it without hesitation. Decision is the bridge from thought to reality, the moment where imagination becomes commitment and commitment becomes destiny. There comes a moment in every pursuit when the excitement fades, when the applause is gone, when the dream no longer feels glorious but heavy. It is in that moment most people quit. They think the delay means denial, the obstacles mean impossibility, the struggle means they are not chosen for greatness. But the truth is the opposite. The struggle is proof that the dream is real, and persistence is the price you must pay to cross the line from wishing into having. Persistence is the unseen force that transforms ordinary men and women into giants. Talent may give you a head start, Knowledge may give you an advantage, but without persistence, both collapse under the weight of time. Every fortune ever built, every breakthrough ever discovered, every empire ever founded was tested by setbacks, by failures, by critics, and by exhaustion. The difference between those who stopped and those who succeeded was not brilliance, it was persistence. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before producing the light bulb. He did not see those failures as defeat, but as part of the process. Henry Ford was laughed at, called foolish for imagining a horseless carriage. Yet he persisted until the same voices of ridicule lined up to buy his automobiles. Colonel Sanders was rejected hundreds of times before one person believed in his recipe. What do these stories teach us? That persistence is not an accessory to success, it is the very engine of it. The world has a way of testing your sincerity. The moment you declare, "I will," life whispers back, "Prove it." It does not give in easily, for if success came cheaply, no one would value it. Obstacles, delays, and failures are not there to destroy you, but to strengthen you, to see if your desire is strong enough to withstand the storm. Persistence is the answer to that test. Every time you continue when it would be easier to quit, you are building a foundation so solid that nothing can shake it. Understand this, persistence is not stubbornness. Stubbornness is clinging to a failing method. Persistence is clinging to a worthy purpose. It is adapting, learning, adjusting, and pressing forward again and again with unshakable faith in the outcome. When you persist, you tell the universe, "I cannot be bought off, delayed, or discouraged. My dream is mine, and I will not release it until it becomes real." Most people give up inches before the finish line. They do not realize that the darkest night often comes just before the dawn, that the greatest resistance comes just before the breakthrough. Persistence is what carries you through that final mile, the mile most people never travel. And it is in that mile that destinies are rewritten. If you are to rise, you must decide now that no setback will make you surrender. You must adopt the mindset that failure is temporary, that defeat is only a lesson, and that persistence will eventually wear down all opposition. Hold on long enough, and the world will have no choice but to yield to you. Persistence transforms destiny, and it is the final key that unlocks the treasure hidden within your dream.